Hi everyone, bit of a unique video for you today. This was a really fun collaboration video. I'm not going to do any explaining because we talk about it as we get into it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's go. If you want to introduce yourself, so sort of say who you are, what you do, and then a couple of projects you've worked on and stuff.
Okay, well, I'm Eric Blakeney. I'm a veteran Hollywood screenwriter, showrunner, and director. Got my big start on a very cool kind of pre-Sopranos show called Wise Guy. After that, I was the showrunner on 21 Jump Street that introduced Johnny Depp to the world. I've also worked on, script assignments like Mad Max Fury Road, wrote and directed a feature called Gun Shy with Liam Neeson, Oliver Platt, and Sandra Bullock. So this leads us to when I was directing my own film, I still knew nothing about visual effects. All I knew was Liam Neeson was constantly showing people pictures of this perfect beach house, dream house that he wants to retire to. First, you'd see the photo. I wanted you to first see the photo and think you were in the environment, and then see the thumbs come in and you're looking at a photo. I don't think we ever came close to really achieving that. The line producer was saying, no, well, that can't be done. That would cost 10 million more in the budget. And I could only go by what I was being told.
So then that's where I come in. So you sent me this DVD very kindly. Thank you very much. So I watched the whole film. It was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And so what I've done is I've taken some screen recordings. And if I try and share my screen with you now, this shot. So this is the one with the thumbs that we mentioned. So I didn't really say this because I thought it'd be fun to tell you on the call, but I've actually done the shots. I know originally we just talked about just doing it, just like discussing it, but I thought it'd be really fun for the YouTube video to show it visually. I will caveat that to work on these I had to screen record a standard definition DVD on a MacBook Pro. So this isn't like really high end. Obviously the footage I had to work on was pretty rough once it came out the screen recording, but I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to open Nuke and then we can sort of go through what I've done.
I think my seagull friend just flew in behind me.
It's funny you should mention a seagull because I put one in this shot. So this is the original shot like we just saw. What I did is, like you mentioned, I did a couple of things. Like I isolated some of the trees just with a bit of keying and roto. So I sort of cut out some of the leaves and then did some warping on them to make them actually blow in the breeze. So it kind of just looks like this. Just a little bit of movement. It's pretty subtle, but it just gives you that sense that it's not a still. And that was just a case of kind of painting off the tops of them and then putting them back on later, which is pretty simple. So I did it to this one and this one here. And then I also, like you mentioned, I made the water ripple a little bit here. So if I play this, you might be able to see. It's not perfect movement, but I just made a little bit of distortion so that the waves feel like they're kind of, on the move. And then I also, just for the fun of it, I put a seagull flying through. Because one of the for matte paintings in visual effects, they're like matte painting 101 on the first day, is someone always says, if you want to make a matte painting feel more alive, put a bird in the shot. And it always takes it away from feeling like a still. There's something sort of flying across the frame. So I've got a seagull here that I made in Blender. This is just a CGI seagull. I've actually got it here. I just kind of made this really rudimentary CG bird and just rendered sort of 30 frames and made it loop and then just transformed it across the screen in Nuke. So this is that flying through, and then obviously when the thumb comes in it kind of freezes exactly like you described, and I think that kind of helps it. Just it gives it a bit more of an organic feel. There's stuff moving, brings some life to it. So yeah, what do you think? That's kind of what I've done to this one.
It's fantastic. I'm curious if you know what you did. How available was it in late 90s? Or, we released the film in 2000. So.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty simple stuff. So it's all 2D. It could have been done in 2D. The only CGI shot or the CGI element was the bird. But you could have very easily done this with, like a plate of a bird that had been filmed, and you could just key it. So yeah, this could have all been done very easily. And for reference, this probably took me 45 minutes this morning. So wow. Simple stuff, very simple stuff.
That would have just been awesome.
I'm glad you like it. And then the second one, this was a little bit more challenging, but I think this also turned out pretty cool. So this is the one you were saying you wanted it to feel like a photo, and then they actually walk into the shot, right? So if I just play this through, originally, was this actually a visual effects shot in the film, or did this end up just being in camera and they just put that backdrop there?
Yeah, so we had, we built that that set.
Yeah.
We're in a big warehouse, right, which we converted into our soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
So up on top of the turrets is where you see the crowd. That's a blue screen.
Right.
And what we did was somebody went to an actual home show and shot a perspective that we had to create of the live animated, the actual home show and in the background.
So this is obviously, again, because I was working on the DVD footage, it's not like the world's greatest composite, but essentially what I did is I took the element of them walking into the show home and I completely isolated it. So all we have is this. And then I basically rebuilt the entire background from the still of Liam holding the photo. And then also I grabbed a couple of like elements of some sky and sort of painted it up to be like an asset extension essentially. So we've got a little bit of the original, so that I kind of used like the beach and then part of the home, and then I extended the sky upwards, did a little bit of painting and sort of removed the palm trees and stuff. This is pretty rough because I just did it in like half an hour this morning. And then I put some palm trees in. These are some CG palm trees which I made, and then you see the show home at the end. So that's what I did essentially. So I took that whole element of the background with the trees and everything, and I tracked it into the original shot and put it so it kind of moves with it now like this. And then what I did is put this element back on top, and then as you can see, this is the end result. And then obviously at the end you have the sky cuts off and you see the background like it was in the original film.
Very cool, very cool. Now so Blender didn't exist 20 years ago. What do you think you would have done 20 years ago? Would you have been able to do something as cool as this, and it would have just taken you longer?
Well, actually, the only thing I did in Blender was the trees. And again, if you wanted to put some trees in, I'm sure you could find an element of them on a shot on a blue screen or something. But all of the background of the photo and stuff was just done in Nuke, which is a 2D compositing software, which I guess probably would have been Flame or something at the time, very similar. So this is again sort of really sort of bread and butter visual effects stuff. It's just a bit of tracking, a bit of painting, a bit of sort of combining a couple of plates. This one took me a little bit longer, maybe an hour or an hour and a half this morning. I just wanted to whip these up because I thought it would be nice to actually have some visual examples instead of basically doing a podcast and just sort of talking about it. So I hope you like what I've done. I hope that it's kind of more in the direction of what you're after.
Absolutely brilliant. I want to call Disney and ask if we can redo it and the film. That's fantastic, man. I love it.
I'm glad. I think this is a nice a way of kind of showcasing basically what it would have done, and then if you spent a bit more time on it, take it that last 10%, and it would look really good, essentially.
Fantastic.
I'm thrilled that you like it. I was a bit worried that it was...
I want to bring you back in a time machine and stick you in our editing bay.
Yeah, I think it's a real testament to the progression of technology as well, that something that was too much for the production, at the time of this film, can now be done by, a 22-year-old in his bedroom on a Saturday morning. Now, I guess that we're at the point, would you like to do like a little kind of tagline of the whole project and sort of plug it as much as you like and, share it with, not that I have a massive audience, but... kind of get it out there?
Sure. The People's Republic of Movies is a virtual film studio. We're trying to create a new film ecosystem that will give more people access to more tools and assets. So what we do is we're setting up alliances with not only other film organizations like film festivals, and we're also doing it with ethical organizations. We're giving ownership of the project to all the people who work on the film. We were able to create, which we're launching in a couple of weeks, a new crowdfunding platform using these tools for filmmakers, getting out to wider audiences who kind of believe what we're doing. So you can go to the promhq.com. and you can see a little bit of, a taste of everything we're up to. Look at that crowdfunding platform. We've got some amazing consultants on this who are part of this to create, a hybrid for filmmakers only. So please check it out. Thanks for letting me spiel on it a little bit.
No problem. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's such a cool project. It sounds amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this call and everything. Obviously, it was
my pleasure, man.
really fun to work on these shots. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
How many times